Welcome to another episode of Living the Dream. Today, our guest is going to be Mr. Jake Wells of JW Wines. Thank you for honoring us with your presence here on Living the Dream.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're going to just dive right into it. Mr. Wells, tell us about your business.
I own a urban winery in Trotwood, Ohio. We're located at 724 East Main Street, and we have about 25 to 30 different flavors of wine that we have there.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Wells, what got you into winemaking?
Oh, back when I was young, my grandmother, she was a winemaker back there. In other words, she was a bootlegger back then. Okay. So I would go through the neighborhood picking up empty wine bottles or whatever kind of bottles that I can find, bring them back, sterilize them out for her, and she would put her brew or wine or whatever else that she made to put in these bottles. And this was going on in Crown Point, Ohio. So that's where it all started from.
Okay.
So I paid close attention to what she was doing, and after I was about 15, 16 years old, I was making it my own self.
Okay, so you took the family secret recipe
Yes.
and refined it.
Yes, I did.
Okay. How long have you been in business?
I've been in business, let me see, prior to the Trotwood office, the area, we were over there at 2525 Shiloh Springs, right upstairs from Gilmark. I had a little office front, but I was making wine in my house, and my wife kicked me out of the house.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons I moved to Shiloh and just bought me a little office space. And then in 2000, let me see, we've been over there less than a year and a half. So 2016, we moved to the Trotwood area. Yeah. Now,
the Trotwood area, it seems to be really expanding.
Yes, it is. You can give a lot of credit to the mayor, Mary McDonald. She's doing an excellent job, and she's really supporting my business also. Yeah.
I had the opportunity to stop at your establishment. I have to say, folks, if you haven't been there, you got to stop there.
Thank you.
Now, tell us about when did you start looking at it as turning winemaking into a business venture?
Well, I was always making it at home as a hobby.
Okay.
And people would come to me all the time and say, "You have any more of that wine? You have any more of that wine?" And then people would also ask me, could I make special wine bottles for their weddings? And I talked to my wife, and I said, we might have something going here. And the first client that I had, I made over 300 bottles for their wedding. And that's when it triggered that I had something going here, and we decided to try to make a business out of it.
When I was there, you showed me the different labels.
Yep.
That is not just weddings that you customize wines for, right?
Actually, Thanksgiving and Christmas is some of our busiest times of the year because people wanted to give them away for, Thanksgiving gifts and also Christmas gifts. Those are perfect, cheap, inexpensive, but personal gifts that you can give with your own personal label on it. You can put your picture on there, or you can just say Merry Christmas from the Wells family or whatever you want to put on there. So that's been a big attraction to the business also.
So if somebody was going to order a case, then they need to get their orders in because at the time of this taping, it's early November.
Right.
So we got Thanksgiving and Christmas right around the corner.
Exactly. And if you're thinking about doing it, now is the time to contact me so we can get in touch, so we can get it done early for you.
What was one of the surprises that you found once you turned this into going into this wholeheartedly?
Okay. Well, one thing, my wife and I, we seen, once we found out that we were going into the business, we wanted to learn all that we could. And we booked a seminar up in Columbus, Ohio, where all the winemakers go, ask questions, and learn about the business. And I found out how more receptive they are to other new businesses. It's like a nice community, friendship community, brotherhood community, where they shared a whole lot of information to help me start my business. Yeah, so I thought that was very impressive, that the wine community, even though we're competitors, they still try to help me establish my business, and that way I won't make any mistakes along the way.
Okay. I know in some businesses they have a philosophy, and that is do the industry no harm.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But they're very receptive to new wineries, and if you ask them any kind of questions, who do you use for your vendors, or where do you get your supplies from, they were very helpful as far as, helping me also.
Okay. Did you run into any speed bumps?
Well, it was hard getting into, getting orders from other, suppliers. So me and my wife and my partner, Kevin Jenkins, we just hit the streets and trying to, take samples of wine to try to get into the stores. And finally the doors started open. And once you find out that you're in one store and you tell the other people that you're in that particular store, especially if it's a well-known store, then they open their doors for you. So, but in the beginning, it was kind of hard.
Okay, so you had to be the person who back there producing, making the product,
and trying to get the wine out there to the stores.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, one of the things I observed, and that is, it's a family affair.
Yes.
As far as in your business.
Yes. My wife, Linda Wells, my sister, Alvina, my niece, and my daughters, Sharon and Tanaya. They all is a big part of it. Actually, I couldn't make it without them. Because, you're only as good as your help.
Okay.
And the reviews that we have got on Facebook is outstanding, especially as far as customer service. And that's one of the biggest compliments that you can have is somebody said they came into your shop and the customer services, and they will come back. And you can't get no better compliment than that.
Okay.
So customer service, and that's a big part of it because of my family helping me out.
One of the things that we hear so often, and that is poor customer service.
Yes. And my family treat everybody like it's, like they're a sister or brother, and everybody is really happy. We want to have everybody have a wonderful experience when they come to our shop, and so far it's been going good like that.
But one of the things that I've been hearing more about is wine tasting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not where, if you're thinking you're going to go and just get drunk.
No.
That's not.
No, normally the wine tasting, you only give them a couple ounces. It's a tasting.
Okay.
It's not a drunken, party going on. But it's actually it's a tasting. You get a couple ounces, and the goal is, to make sure that you like it before you buy it. Like some of these big retail stores, you can't even taste what you're buying. You're buying it because it looks good or it looks pretty. But this way, with our shop, you can taste it. And if you like it, cool. And if you don't, you can move to something else. Because I'm pretty sure with 25 different flavors, you'll find one of the bottles that you like.
With that being said, what are the differences? Do you say a customer comes in and they're not a wine connoisseur? Do you help? Do you educate them?
Yeah, I try to educate them and let them know what wine goes with what food if they're trying to have a party or whatever. And I found out that it's a lot of our customers, new customers, never drank wine hardly before. They've not been wine drinkers, and they love our wine because, it's a sweet, it's a sweet wine, and most people can get into sweets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know we had the conversation about how long a wine, shelf life of a wine before it turns into vinegar.
Right.
And having sediment as far as in the wine.
Well, a lot of that is the way that you store the wine also. Okay. Now, if a lot of wine connoisseurs, they have these big wine cellars where they can keep the wine chilled at all times and keep it, in the dark spots, in dark spaces. And that has a lot to do with the shelf life of your wine. But if you're keeping it in the windowsill or in the sunlight, then that would take some of the life out of your wine also. But red wine lasts a little bit longer than white wine. Our particular wine that we make, because we don't have vineyards or nothing like that, we buy the juices. It's 1 to 2 years, shelf life pretty much on our wines itself. And if you recork it as soon as you pour it, it would last a lot longer. But if you leave it open, it'll turn flat on you also.
Tell us about for some of the other events that you have.
Well, today we're actually having a paint party.
Okay.
And then right after the paint party, it's going to be a birthday party. So people like our establishment because it's small and it's intimate. And we can probably hold about 50 to 60 people maximum. And it's an intimate setting, and we play jazz music 24/7, which is, one of my favorite kind of music is jazz, and people love it. And, they think our place is perfect for intimate settings. If you want to have something big with 100 or more people, it wouldn't work there at my shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in other words, do you have like small businesses or say like team building events?
Yes, we have. We have professional women's came over there and they were talking about different types of financing. We had the black art professionals. They display all of their paints. And we had Darren Bell. He came over there and he was playing his music also. So we have all kind of different events over there at all times.
Okay. Now, I have some more questions about your business because that's what we do. How does your business try to achieve a competitive advantage?
Well, I think one is that we do the special labels. And we're introducing, like every other month, we're introducing different flavors of wine. I'm always trying to think of different flavors. And another thing that we do, we welcome all people to come in and, to try. We have free tasting, and you're not going to find that probably nowhere in the city, where it's a free tasting and that you can taste all 25 different wines until you find one that you like. Okay. And most places that you go doesn't have that.
What opportunities for growth do you see?
Well, there's plenty of opportunities because right now we're in about 16 to 17 retail stores and restaurants. And our goal is to try to get in every retail store in the city, in the Dayton area, and outside the city limits also. We have stores in Columbus, Cincinnati, Springfield, and the sky is the limit when it comes to as far as retail stores.
And what advice would you offer anyone who's thinking about starting a business of their own? It doesn't have to be within your industry, but in any small business.
I would suggest doing your homework because there's a lot of regulations and laws that you have to know before you even, you just can't jump into anything and then find out these regulations and rules that you have to have. Do your homework and study and make sure that you have a business plan together before you even jump into anything. Put your goals down on paper exactly and try to reach those goals step by step instead of just jumping into something. Make sure that you do your homework.
Okay. And tell us about the benefits of owning your own business and running it.
It's freedom.
Okay.
It's freedom. You answer to yourself. You try to strive for excellence, but you have the freedom, to run the show your way. And your vision, you have the ability, if you want to do something, you have the ability to change right there versus you have to ask your boss or whoever you work for, can we do this? And we can go ahead on and do it. So if we think of something that's going to be good, or if I come up with a different wine, heck, we just make it and then test the public and see what they think. So that's an advantage. You got your own freedom to do what you want to when you want to. Yeah.
If you could step inside a time machine and go back in the past when you were first starting your business, what would you have changed?
Well, I probably would. My initial goal was to have about 2 to 3 acres of land and have a log cabin, build a log cabin with a wraparound deck. That was my initial goal, and then have a wine and cigar place where people can come and chill, smoke a cigar, and drink some wine. So I probably would have planned for that along the way better than I have, than just jumping into it when my wife kicked me out of the house.
What would you like the community to know? Or
Well, I'm really surprised that a lot of people in Trotwood still don't know that we're existing there. So I would love for them to know that we're established wine business, and we're located at 724, East Main Street in Trotwood. And we have 20-some flavors of wine that I'm pretty sure that they would love if they come in and try us out.
Okay. Do you have any events as far as like public events coming up?
Well, like I said, today we're having a paint party.
Okay.
And later on today it's a private birthday party. But big events, I think, the African American art people, they're going to have something next week that's going to be at our wine shop. And that's coming up. So I didn't get there. I forgot the date, but I know I think it's next Friday.
Okay.
That they're going to have an art institute, the Black Art Society is going to be over there.
Okay. But it'll be on your Facebook page.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Yes, it will. We try to announce everything that we're doing there on Facebook.
I know your children are involved in your business?
Yes, my daughter, Sharon. I have my youngest daughter, Nicole. She helps me out with the paperwork.
Okay.
My niece, Tanaya, she's one of the servers. And my sister is the manager of the front area. My wife, Linda, she's the administrative person that makes sure everything's run right. Actually, she's the boss.
Okay, that's always.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the boss. And, it's a family business.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, was it hard getting, as far as young people engaged in your business first?
No, actually, we had, once Dayton Daily News came there and did an interview on us and made the public aware that we were there, everybody started coming and check us out. So that's what made me change my vision, too. At first, we just wanted to be a wholesaler that supply retail stores. And then once he put that article in the newspaper, people started coming to the shop. So that made us change our vision and have us a retail store right there at the place. So the young people are finding out, and I'm getting more millenniums these days than the older people now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the baby boomers, I'm getting more of the young folks coming in there and loving the environment and the setting. They love intimate settings.
Okay.
And wine is becoming the latest and the newest thing now.
Okay.
People are getting into it a lot more than they have in the past.
Okay. Because I met a couple, matter of fact, I met a couple, and that's one of the things that they were telling me about is that there were like these various wine tasting events that are going on within the area. It's not like going to a bar. It's some place where you can have a intimate setting. Or a team building event.
Exactly.
Event.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I love about it. People, when they come in there, they're really surprised because, the west side of Dayton has a bad image as far as they don't think it's anything nice. But it's plenty of things that's going on. You have the taste. That's I love the taste. You have the arena. Now my wine shop, there's plenty of things that's going on that's really tasteful and classy. It's in Trotwood. And when they first walk into the shop, they said, oh, wow, I never thought it would be like this. So they're very surprised when they come there.
And that's one of the things that we try to emphasize, that a lot of times people drive by places and they never really stop to explore, but they would be surprised at what's available or what's within their own
own community.
Exactly.
They'll drive by it not knowing that we're there. And once they come in, I got a repeat customer there. Because they love the service and they love the wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know you have another event that you have to race to.
Yes.
And I wish to thank you for taking time out of your busy day in order to share with our listeners and our viewers and better educate us all far as up on a wine along far as with your business and information that could prove valuable as far as to another entrepreneur.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak with you.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
And for everyone out there, please, the small business owners within your community, we appreciate hearing your story. And for you out there, we want to hear your story.